Well, it's 2 weeks today since Liz Truss became Prime Minister. What an extraordinary couple of weeks it has been, clearly dominated by that national period of mourning, which effectively meant that lots of government business ground to a halt. But with the Queen's funeral yesterday and that national period of mourning now at an end, politics is grinding back into gear again. And Liz Truss is embarking on her first foreign trip as Prime Minister here to New York to attend the United Nations General Assembly. And she's got a busy couple of days ahead, meeting lots of different world leaders, including Emmanuel Macron, the French President, the Prime Minister of Spain, the President of Turkey, the Prime Minister of Lithuania, the EU Commission President, Ursula von der Leyen, and, of course, US President Joe Biden. She was due to meet him in Downing Street on Sunday, but that got cancelled, and now it's going to go ahead on the sidelines here of the United Nations in New York. Now, clearly, as Foreign Secretary, Liz Truss will have met and knows many of these world leaders, but this is the first time she will be dealing with them on equal terms, and it is a key moment for any Prime Minister, not least of all, as I say, after the whirlwind couple of weeks that she has had. What's likely to dominate? Well, clearly Ukraine, given the concerns that war is now grinding into autumn and winter that could get quite difficult despite recent successes. Could there be possibly more military aid or other support in different forms? Energy security is also likely to play a big role here. Continued concerns in Western Europe about the schemes that governments are putting in place to try and prevent that cost of living crisis that's likely to buffet lots of European countries in the months ahead. And also, it's difficult, I think, probably to get away from Brexit. It's certainly going to come up, I would have thought, in those discussions with Emmanuel Macron and with Ursula von der Leyen, not least of all because the Northern Ireland protocol still hasn't been sorted. Liz Truss insists she would like to see some type of deal, but is she prepared to take unilateral action if necessary, and how would the EU respond to that? So politics is very much back in game here in New York City. She is also, the Prime Minister, Liz Truss, going to make a speech at the United Nations tomorrow night at the General Assembly, an annual event that takes place every year, but another big platform for the new British Prime Minister. And then it's back to home and to London, where the politics is simply not going to stop, because we're expecting a mini budget effectively on Friday ahead of the party conference season as Parliament comes back into session too. So it is, after an extraordinary couple of weeks for the Prime Minister, going to be another testing time for her, but a big moment as she makes her first foreign trip here to New York.